We all have been long drives one time or another. We have driven from one place to another, sometimes at odd hours during the night, all alone, and have experienced some instances which we can never forget. I've come across one such story which is called the Phantomroad. James, a weary traveler driving through the night, found himself alone on a desolate highway. The road stretched ahead like a dark abyss, and the sound of his engine was the only solace he had in the eerie silence. An uneasy feeling settled in the pit of his stomach, but he pushed it aside, determined to reach his destination. As James continued his journey, a thick fog began to descend upon the highway, obscuring his visibility. The dense mist seemed to swallow the surroundings, creating an otherworldly atmosphere. He gripped the steering wheel tightly, his heart pounding in his chest, as he struggled to navigate through the ghostly haze. In the midst of the fog, James caught a glimpse of movement in his rearview mirror. His heart skipped a beat as he saw a shadowy figure standing in the middle of the road behind him. The figure appeared to be a man, dressed in outdated clothing, staring intently at James with haunting eyes. Fear coiled in James's chest as he sped up, desperate to escape the figure behind him. He glanced at the rearview mirror again, only to find that the mysterious man had vanished into thin air. The road behind him stood empty, as if the specter had never been there at all. As James continued driving, he noticed that the road signs began to change, their messages becoming cryptic and unsettling. Words like, "Turn back now," and "No escape," flashed before his eyes, filling him with a sense of impending doom. It was as if the highway itself was warning him to retreat. In the distance, James saw a figure on the side of the road, thumb extended in a hitchhiking gesture. Despite his unease, James's compassion overpowered his fear, and he slowed down to offer assistance. As the figure approached, James realized with a jolt that it was the same man he had seen in his rearview mirror. The hitchhiker climbed into the car, his presence casting a chilling aura. He spoke in a hushed tone, his words laden with a hidden menace. "There is no escape from this road," he whispered, his voice filled with anguish. "Those who travel here are forever trapped in its grip." The highway seemed to stretch on endlessly, with no sign of civilization or escape in sight. James felt a sinking realization that he was caught in an unending loop, condemned to drive this haunted road for eternity. Desperation set in as he frantically searched for a way out. As James pushed his car to its limits, the surroundings became increasingly distorted. Reality warped and twisted, as if mocking his attempts to escape. Time itself seemed to stretch and contract, trapping him in a perpetual nightmarish cycle. With his hope fading, James made a bold decision. He brought his car to a screeching halt and stepped out, facing the phantom hitchhiker. When he looked around, he noticed he was all alone in his car, and he was at the starting point of the road he has been traveling on. He stepped out confused and perplexed. He turned back to get in the car when he suddenly saw the same hitchhiker right behind him. He sees a car coming along and runs towards it to get help, but the car doesn't slow down. He panics and freezes in his steps as the car approaches him head-on at full speed. He is about to be hit, and he closes his eyes. Wham! He opens his eyes a moment later, only to see that the car has passes through him. That's when he realizes he is now a ghost himself, and is forever doomed to be driving on this road for eternity. Years later, the desolate highway remains a cautionary tale, whispered among locals in hushed tones. James's fate and the mysterious hitchhiker's curse continue to haunt the road, warning all who dare to traverse its path. The highway stands as a grim reminder of the terrors that lurk in the darkness, forever etching fear into the hearts of those who encounter it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Make sure to subscribe to Horror Stories for more such content. Stay tuned for our next video, where we dive deeper into the world of ghosts and the paranormal. Until then, sleep tight.